Yeah, this was pretty interesting. I'm excited to see if any of you guys in our community got a chance to check this out. This was on the Majority
Calling
Report.
from a 9
A couple days ago. Caller here has some pretty interesting tea to spill as it relates to George Latimer. So definitely a juicy story here that unfolded in real time on the Majority Report. Definitely excited to get your guys' reaction to this. Pretty interesting stuff.
14 area code. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Kat from Portland, Oregon.
Kat?
So I'm using. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah. What's your name from Portland?
Ket, K-E-T-T.
Ket.
Which is a shortening of my last name, which will be relevant in a minute. Because I'm calling with some George Latimer gossip that's maybe 10 years out of date, but
okay.
This guy, sorry, I'm a little nervous. I've been listening to you guys for years now, and I've tried to call a couple times. This is my first time getting through.
Well, I'm nervous too.
Yeah,
that's why we tried to avoid picking up the phone from you.
Well, okay. So my aunt is a judge in Westchester County.
Okay.
By the name of Susan Kettner. And so this is like 10 plus years ago at this point. I think they might still be together. To my understanding, Latimer is married.
Okay.
But just has an arrangement with his wife and was dating my aunt.
Sam's perk.
And he came to one of our dysfunctional family Christmas events.
Oh, shit. This is good tea.
To give you the family dynamic, it's like you have to imagine like a not quite as affluent cast of Arrested Development who are just like
So to be clear here, because I just want to make sure I want to make sure like we're distinguishing and I should say I don't know who you are. This is a phone call. People should always understand that we take these phone calls. Anybody could call in. But you're saying that you've actually met Latimer at a family function because
yes, because he was is still in, I believe, an extramarital relationship with my aunt. Yeah, so this is wild. So this is probably like
George
2011, 2012.
Yeah, dude. Which is pretty funny.
Bro, rich people just never love their wives, but they don't want to fucking get rid of the money that it costs to separate their ways. So they're like, you know what, lady, like just, do whatever you want. Take my money, but I'm going to fuck her off on the side.
Yeah.
What's interesting about that is it's an old school mentality to have like one lady that you cheat with. You're like, I've got my wife and then I've got the one other lady that I cheat with. And I guess it's not cheating if they're in an open relationship, but I just have this one other woman.
It's like a side chick
that I see. It's like, I don't know. I feel like things would run a lot smoother if it was more of a, bye, see ya. I don't know. Anyway, not my life, not my monkey, not my circus. I'm just saying. No.
Yeah. The real scandal, though, we have yet to truly hear about. It's not just this open relationship thing, which is funny.
That would be, that would just be goss.
Yeah.
This is the TMZ guard, but we don't stoop so low.
Exactly. We are pro open relationship here.
That's true.
Because my grandmother was
monogamy.
Still alive, which so all my aunts and uncles at this point, like they kind of, don't get along with each other, but everyone spends the holidays together, and they're all sniping at each other. My grandparents outside the family were like New York Country Club Republicans. All their kids are like Blue Dog Democrats, and and so this guy shows up, and it was like a big deal that my aunt was dating someone because she'd been single for a really long time.
Okay.
And this guy shows up in the middle of our like Christmas deal that was at my aunt's house that year. And what a piece
Can we pause
of
it?
Shit.
I can't get over this. Sam does a really good job of dealing with this, but guys, if you ever call into our show, get to the point. I hate when callers beat around the bush, dude. Like, how far into this are we?
Like, he's just like terrible, but like not in an overtly racist, offensive way. But I've never met someone in my life who was more of a stereotype of a politician, because he came into a room where like everyone was has decades of like built up resentments and tension getting through like the holidays, and he comes in just
Sounds like a great movie, almost like a dysfunctional
I was
family
like, sounds
Christmas.
like Christmas at my family's place. We were just talking about this the other day. This is a kind of an embarrassing story. So my mom and I like don't talk anymore. But the last time that we saw each other really was Christmas, and she just was like trying to get like blackout drunk.
Your mom was?
Oh yeah, but she like was freaking out because none of the liquor stores in fucking Kansas on the Kansas side are open on Christmas because of all the fucking Bible Belt laws. And so she starts screaming at my little brother that he was stealing from her. It was a whole big fucking ordeal. I'm like, I can totally relate to this. This is exactly how the
Now
hysterics
imagine right after she starts screaming at him, Quentin Lucas walks in the door.
Exactly. It's like an episode of The Bear, right? You never watched The Bear, Gavin, but there's a family episode of The Bear where like it's like Chicago culture, like all Maldian, they like throw shit at each other. It's like a big fucking kerfuffle.
I've seen clips.
You know, it's always nice to have some solidarity out there. You know, people who have an even more dysfunctional family than I do. It'd be like if my mom came home with like Jerry Moran after that was all over, like her boss. You know what I mean? It's like fucking nuts.
That could literally make for such a great script. Like,
It would, dude. Oh, trust me, bro. My entire like, you know, people are like, why are you the way you are? I'm like, bro, let me tell you what.
Damn, Zach getting called out for
Zach. Oh, bro,
rambling.
George Orwellian never gets to comment in the chat again. LOL. Don't you hate power dynamics, buddy? Every party needs a pooper. That's why we invited you. Let's play.
thinking he could win everyone over, and just campaigned. He campaigned for the entire, like, through get to know you, opening presents,
The only
dinner, the
person who gets
whole
to beat
9
around the
yards.
bush is me,
And he was
for the
trying
record.
so hard. And, like, the thing that was sort of gratifying, and I don't get along with, like, basically
The
anyone
chat
on
is
that side of
not
the family,
enough.
and haven't talked to anyone in
Sort
many
of
years.
sounds like it, and certainly I got news for you. If you were hoping for some type of reconciliation, I think that's out the window.
Light the torch. I am fine with that bridge being burned. That's totally cool.
It feels like it.
But
Tyler, be careful.
yeah, like, but to their credit, it was like watching a comic crash and burn, because that guy campaigned so hard and he like couldn't move anyone.
Well, we just found an article in Talk of the Sound from 2021. George Latimer gal pal Sue Kettner lands 6-figure county job.
Good for her.
And
Some
She
interesting
pushed
stuff
me in the
about
pool when I was 7, so whatever.
some interesting stuff about Latimer getting in a car crash, apparently racing to meet her before a campaign event, and there's some interesting gossip. So I appreciate
it's
it.
an
No,
Latimer's
And it was-
long-standing personal relationship with Kettner has been an open secret in Westchester politics for years, with Latimer and Kettner often seen together at various political fundraising events. I mean, it's sort of weird that if what you're saying is true, and I have no way of validating it, is there anything you could tell me about your that exchange that might be, you'd have some unique information about Latimer that would sort of indicate that maybe this is actually true? I mean, you just talked about your cousin, your aunt. I mean, this is pretty. Let's put it this way: like to hire somebody when you're county super of Westchester, to hire somebody that you're romantically involved in for $140,000 a year seems a little. I don't know.
Of interesty.
Inappropriate.
And not surprising at all, because the way that whole corner of my life, that all people in that family, it's all back scratching. That's all politics is. It's just them doing favors for one another. What do you owe one another, and then what will you do? What will you bend over and give?
Do you know if your aunt is still working for the county? Did you even know that she was working for the county?
I have no idea. Like, I knew that she was a judge, and I knew that her opponents, like, this is the last like gossip, like 10 years ago or so, that when she was rerunning, people were defacing her like yard campaign signs with like calling her a slut. Like, and it's so yeah, like,
you can hear
ridiculous.
The
and like, honestly, like,
laughing.
I have no. It's not like I have any moral outrage about, you know, an open marriage, that's cool, but they weren't cool with it in a progressive way.
I have no problem with him having, whatever, an open marriage or whatever arrangement it is. That's all.
Yeah, see, that's the thing I also wanted to know. Nobody gives a fuck about that. But the fact that he gave, apparently, this dude's aunt a job for 140 G's, and this dude's just out here spilling the tea like that. We know that the dude's corrupt as fuck, but what I think is even more interesting than that is, Gavin, have you seen anything about this in Politico?
Of course not.
Have you seen anything about this in The Guardian? Or
what I did see in Politico was a long article exposing the YouTube search history of some channel Jamaal Bowman ran 5 years ago. I remember
we
that.
were bummed. We didn't see the Vanguard. We were like, come on, bro. When are you going to get with the times? Connect with some
the gray zone. What is this? You have bad taste.
God,
in anti-imperialist media. Come on, bro.
Man, he must hate laughter. I don't know. He must not want to fucking be told jokes.
Yeah.
Anyways, the serious guy is getting swollen in the gym. He needs something, like... I get it. I hate lifting weights. I never do it.
But yeah, I think that it's one thing is for sure, if the shoe was on the other foot, if somehow Jamaal Bowman had employed one of his girlfriends that he wasn't even married to, gave her some county job for $140,000 a year plus pension plus benefits, all on the taxpayer dime, pretty fucking sure we would have heard about that. I'm pretty sure we would have heard about it nonstop, ad nauseum for the past, however many months this primary has been going on, trying to paint Bowman as a deadbeat father, or a absentee husband, whatever, corrupt, everything you could possibly throw at him.
If you were Cory Bush, they would have already done that to you.
Yep.
Because there's been a huge controversy about the fact that she hired, I guess her boyfriend. Here, let me zoom in for everybody. I'm pulling it up on my monitor, so it's all.
You got to zoom in on.
Oh yeah, shit. Sorry, fuck me.
It's all good.
Boomer guard. This is the DIY element that you love us for. So for all the squads, this is an article from February of last year, but I just want everybody to see the parallels between how they treat a squad member and how they treat a guy like George Latimer. So for all the squad's noise about defunding the police, most of its members use private security, as if that's relevant at all, as if having private security to make sure you don't get fucking assaulted is the same as having the police. Okay, but only Rep. Cory Bush actually hired her boyfriend, her quote-unquote partner, before she took office, per her own staff, as security. Actually, he's now her husband, which only compounds the ethical questions about paying him with campaign funds. So basically, she's married to her head of security, and people are pissed about that. She's not giving away jobs that are like
judge positions.
Yeah. See, and then they're saying while now Rep. Jamaal Bowman paid himself almost $30,000 in salary from campaign funds while running for, so he could live.
Probably say that about literally every member of Congress. They're just singling out the squad members.
Literally. So anyway, I just wanted to point that out because they're trying to make Cory Bush look like she's compromised her values. And to be fair, we could have a conversation about whether or not you should hire your husband or significant other as a security. But the reason they're not talking about George Latimer, which is, in my view, a way more egregious misconduct, a way more egregious misuse of power, it's obviously because they, want Jamaal Bowman out, and they want this, corporate shill in. And it's just a real obvious gap in mainstream media coverage. And so when we talk about media literacy, guys, a lot of people, they'll just jump into one or two camps. They won't trust anything. They'll be like, that came from here, I'm not reading that. And that's not how American propaganda works, right? We all, Noam Chomsky's been in the news a lot recently because he's not doing well. Apparently, he's not really able to speak. I think he's in Sao Paulo, Brazil, for the climate there. There's also some really good doctors down there, apparently. So he's struggling away. But we all know him and Ed Herman's, big book, right? Manufacturing Consent. What did that teach us? Well, the propaganda model for America isn't that they will directly lie to you. It's that they will selectively cover things, right? And that is just as true during the Vietnam War as it was during today's times, right? What they're not telling you about is the things like George Latimer's misuse of campaign funds, because it was what took us 2 seconds to Google those names. You think nobody in media that covers Westchester had put that together? You think nobody thought oh, hey, this looks a little sketchy? Of course they did.
Yep. Anyway, it's crazy stuff. And also, just to throw this on screen one more time to remind you all of the insanity, this likely will go down as the most expensive House primary in history. To defeat Jamaal Bowman. That's how invested AIPAC is in defeating Jamaal Bowman, who I will remind you guys isn't even some freaking radical. Like before the October 7th terrorist attacks and the sort of shift in discourse that's occurred since then, Zach and I weren't this, rah pro Jamaal Bowman podcast. Like we gave him credit where credit was due. But to be honest, we kind of thought he was.
We were Bowmen. What are you talking about, bro?
We always kind of considered him like just another milquetoast squad member. Like he seemed cool. It seemed like his heart was in the right place. He seemed like a real guy and all that stuff.
We kind of trolled him for the fire alarm thing because he wouldn't own it. He's like, I didn't do it. And I was like, yes, you did, bro.
Exactly.
Yes, you did.
Exactly. Anyway, I think it's crazy that, just because of the fact that he's honest about the fact that Israel's doing a genocide, he calls it a genocide.
Yeah, he has eyes and a heart.
Yeah,
and he works with children all the time. What the f do you
Yep.
expect? This guy can't not see these kids. Like,
Yep.
you have, like, and to be responsible for the bombs going over there, you can't live with that if you have a conscience. If you have, it's not enough money in the world. We were talking about this the other day. It's like, what's happening over there is essentially enriching a lot of Americans that want to keep doing that. And the depravity that's involved in just tuning out the kind of horrors that are going on and staying, ambivalent on it just so that you can turn a buck is simultaneously both the most American and the most nauseating and disgusting thing. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, just crazy. This proves the lengths to which AIPAC is willing to go to defeat someone who's even a mild, milquetoast critic of Israel. They're treating him like he's the American Claire Daly or something, the Irish MP who recently
she recently lost too, which was a I don't think we
Unfortunately.
talked about that, but that was a goddamn disgrace.
Yeah, it really sucks that she lost her seat in the parliament.
She was the real deal, man.
Yep, it is a shame. But yeah, that's how they're treating Jamaal Bowman, like he's the American version of Claire Daly, not just this kind of milquetoast progressive squad member who created the hip hop task force or whatever. Like he's not some threat to the establishment.
Wu-Tang is for children. Let's get this guy out of here.
Yeah.